Hey guys, welcome back to Beauty and Darkness. So today, I had fun doing, I don't know in which order I'm going to show these episodes, but I had fun doing the painting that was all autumny and stuff. Like there was a border around it that was liquid clear, paint thinner and stuff like that, and then there was like a strip in the middle that was equally the season, but like, yeah, anyway, I had fun doing that. No idea what I was going to call that. I don't think I've called it anything yet, but I wanted to do something like that, but in the spirit of who I am and what it is that I do. Everything I do is horror, except for, of course, Naturescapes, but if you've watched any other episodes, you would know that I went my own way with a lot of the Naturescapes and made them spooky, dark reds, spooky greens, phantom greens is what I call it. So this one I wanted to do this similar as I did previously, and just except this one isn't a strip. It kind of is, and it kind of isn't. It's a coffin, and before you say, Nick, I don't have any shape that I can use for a coffin. Yes, you do. I used an envelope. I used the side for the, well, top and bottom, and then I just did the diagram of the rest of it and tried to get it as parallel or whatever as I could. So if I have a wonky coffin, that's cool with me. But I was going to do the same thing here. I was going to, instead of doing fall colors like I did yellow ochre, Indian yellow, red, and something else, cad yellow, in the fall one, this one I'm just going to have crimson, Alizarin Crimson. It's one of those days. For some reason I wanted to say crimson red, and I'm like, that is not a color, officially. So I'll use crimson red on the, just the outside, because it's already black. I was going to do like a black and a red, but there's no reason to do a black and a red because the whole damn thing is black. So I'm going to do crimson background, so it's really, really blood red dark. And your attention is on here, which once we get to painting, once this gets to drying, I think the other one that I did, the fall one, took about two or 3 days to dry the exterior. But anyway, the Bob Ross painting that I'll be painting in here is called Rowboat on the Beach, or something very close to that. It's very turquoise, very blue, very greeny, except this one I'm going to do the exact same thing but with all reds and dark colors. So the sky's going to be red, the land's going to be black or brown, everything's just going to be red and black to fit with this. So I'm going to shut the hell up and we're going to get started. Let me dip into my paint thinner. I did put an excessive, that sounded weird, an excessive a lot of liquid clear so that I get a really violent reaction, because I don't want a single bit of this canvas to be dry and give me just that natural oil paint look. I want this to be very unsettling. So in other words, I'm going to make a beautifully happy painting today. Look at that. That's awesome. And be careful when you're doing something like this and you're using a lot of paint thinner or whatever, you're going to get, it's already splashed almost to my arm. I'm not even being that active with it. So just be careful where your paint's going in case you're painting somewhere where, somebody's giving you permission to paint and you got white drapes or a white wall or whatever. You don't want to piss off that person. Okay, so I'll leave it black, but I'm going to go over here and I'm going to leave some space. You see that? I'm leaving that part black so I don't have to paint it black. Work smart, not hard. And then I'm going to put this part and make it look more squiggly. I'm going to put this part as red. That's already looking pretty sick. in case you're like me and your paint didn't run dry, just get some agua. By the time I'm done with this part, I expect to have no more crimson, so we'll see how far I get. Oh yeah, by the way, this is contact paper, and if you know me and contact paper, we're not friends. So hopefully this works with me this time around. I mean, when I put on the liquid clear and everything, it stayed. So far I've been a happy painter. Some there. Some there. And then after this, we're going to let this dry and come back to it and paint the interior. It's going to be a little weird because I do have the rest of the contact paper without the coffin. So once this dries, I'm going to put the contact paper over this and try to paint the interior without getting all this messed up. But you know how plans work out sometimes. Not always in your favor. Looks like I'll have some red left over, but that's okay. That's okay. Alright. Because if we did it red here, where all the black is, it would just be a big blot of red. You really wouldn't be able to have any depth in it. And the black it looks grungy, so it works. It works. Let me clean my brush. Sure get the red off of there. Some of these colors can stain like the dickens, man. Okay. Alright guys, so for this part, that's it. That's all I'm going to do. Once this dries completely, we're going to come back. I'm going to take off the coffin contact paper. That just sounds weird, but really cool. The coffin contact paper. And then I'm going to put, let me see if yep, I got it. Then we're going to put the rest of it. Wait, yeah, no, yeah, that's it, okay. So we're going to put the rest of it over so we can paint in this little space and paint that rowboat turquoise seascape in, of course, the same colors, Alizarin Crimson, maybe bright red, maybe, but I really want it to be dark. So darks, midnight black, stuff like that. So I'm going to shut up so half of this episode isn't just me talking. And I will see you guys at the jump. Hey guys, welcome back to Beauty and Darkness. So we're back to this painting. It's finally dry. Now trying to backtrack to what you saw because it's been a few days, but I think basically this is the contact paper that I used to cut out the initial coffin, which is still here, so I haven't even ripped that off yet. So underneath it, you can kind of see the edges of what in some red that shouldn't be there, but some of the underneath where I didn't paint under the coffin. So that's what we're going to be painting in today once I rip it off. And I use the other half of the contact paper that I used to cut out the coffin to cover what I painted before, so we can paint inside and not. We're gonna anyway. I mean, the way this contact paper sticks, which is not at all. I hate two things in life, not just painting, in life. I hate masking tape and I hate contact paper because neither stick for crap. Like right now, this is like, I mean, good. I mean, it's good enough that it's sticking to some of it, but like right down here, it's gonna be a mess. It's gonna be a hot mess. So, let's get to it. I'm gonna peel this off. Then I'm gonna put some. I'm gonna put liquid clear because I want this to be vibrant, and I want I mean, it's gonna be 3 colors today. That is it. And I'm gonna use liquid white. I'm gonna use Alizarin Crimson. I'm gonna use bright red, and I'm gonna use midnight black, and that's it. So the painting that we're gonna be doing, I probably said this in the first segment that I filmed a few days ago, is Rowboat in the Ocean or Rowboat in the Sea. It's something like that, but it's very turquoise, very pretty, very bright. This one's going to be all red and black, as I said before. Anyway, let's peel this off, ya. Okay. It is recording, right? That would suck. Ah! Ta-da! Okay. So if you want to purchase this for the low price of $9.90, kidding. Just kidding. Ha ha. Alright, make sure that this is all going to be sticking where it needs to be sticking, so I don't get any white trims on my painting. Because I don't care what happens on the outskirts. What I care about right now is just protecting, even though there's a ton of red spillover from the border, I want this to, as perfectly as it can, which is not going to be that perfect, but align with the edges of my coffin. That sounds so bizarre. Alright, that's good enough. It's going to come up anyway, we're going to have issues, but I don't care. We'll deal with that when it gets there. So, as I said, we're going to use liquid clear. I'm going to use, ooh, crap. Whew! That initial loader almost put me on my butt. Wow. Okay. This should be a relatively simple painting just because there's not much going on, and we're not going to get too detailed on the ocean. It's just going to be a palette knife when we get there. The rest of it is just essentially blending. I mean, you got the sun. I mean, everything again is going to be like just different shades of red, but you got the sun, the clouds, some islandy looking stuff, the beach or the ocean. I'm not doing the rowboat, and then you have the beach. And the beach is going to sound, I mean, I might just do black when I get there, and some red highlights, like where you normally use Van Dyke brown and white and stuff to kind of sand the dirt. And no matter what naturescape you're doing, whether that's a beach, whether that's a hiking trail, a mountain, I'm going to take that same technique and use it with black and red, or not black, I'm going to use it red, the red colors, and put that over the black so it has that same sandy effect but in red. I'm going to stop talking because otherwise this whole thing will be me talking. I think I've got everything I need, except for this stupid contact paper not sticking. Alright. Okie dokie dokie dokie. I shouldn't even be using this brush. This brush is so shot. The bristles don't even move, but let's see how far it gets me. Oh, I shouldn't be laughing. Again, I wouldn't paint like this if it wasn't for the contact paper that I know is not going to stick. So I'm painting inward so that the contact paper stay. I mean, it might stay put regardless of how I paint it, but I don't want to basically paint over what I just painted on the outside.
I'm second generation energy. I'm the first engineer.
I don't give a fuck. When ads think you give a shit, but you really don't. Since this brush is shot, I don't want my blender brush just giving me. There we go. Let me make somewhat of a sun. Right in the middle there. And then I've got the excess paint. And then I kind of want to soften my sky so it doesn't look like a bunch of hectic brush strokes. I'm not getting paint. I'm just knocking off the excess. Okay. Alright. You know what? I'm going to get my filbert. And I'm going to paint just a teensy little itsy bit. I want a black hole sun. Oh, the 90s. It gets knocked all the time for being whatever it is, but at least it ain't what the 21st century has become. Good God. Alright. Just taking off the excess paint. No idea what that is, but that just looks wicked awesome. Okie dokie. So, he's got some crowds in his sky. So I'm taking my big old fan brush. And, you know what? Yeah, I'll do black. I was gonna just do red clouds, but everything's gonna be red, so I kinda need something to, let me just do kind of a dabbing of it. And then we'll go over that with like a fan brush or something and blend it in so it just looks all misty and stuff. This may be a Halloween episode. I don't know yet. Can't tell you one way or the other. This was actually kind of an impromptu episode, but I just thought, heck, why not? Because Bob Ross always did circles and ovals and seashells and stuff like that with contact paper, but this show's all about creepy goodness, so I figured, heck, do me a coffin. I'm gonna leave my my sky up here untouched, just because I like how it's blended. Yeah, it's not. I was gonna use one of the round brushes. Mostly because this brush is shot to hell. I mean, the screws are coming out of it. But, the round brush isn't for this. You hear that? These brushes are so sharp. Oh, it's not funny. Alright. Go. Spooky, spooky. So spooky. Okie dokie. You know, I was gonna do like a black mountain, but actually what I will do, just for good measure, is bring this skyline down just a little bit. Just a little bit. Not very much. Knock off my excess. Smooth it out. This is kind of why I didn't want to use this on the clouds, because otherwise I'd have a really weird, dirty looking sky. Alright, now I'm going to take this fan brush that I have prepared for the sky, because I don't have multiple brushes. I mean, I do, I'm gonna enjoy painting. And I think we're gonna use Alizarin Crimson for the no. Yeah. For the Martins. So, of course, the one farthest away is lighter than the ones closest to us. So for the last one, I'm going to do some black and some red to make it the darker, or the darkest, anyway. Okay. Probably need to fix my red back there a little bit more, but other than that, we all gravy biscuit. Shoot, that almost looks like bright red. It's not. Just because how little we used of it. Oh, heck, it might have been bright red. Let's fix that. Okay, now for the beach, I dare say, let's do, because if we went full on dark, it'd be really hard to get lighter, so let's start light so we can get dark if we need to. Just not really art 101, just common sense. Alright, let me clean my brush. Sure this is not my painting. A lot of these episodes seem to be blurry bits. Alright, get some bright. Clean that off. There we go. There's a chunk of just paint sitting right there. I cleaned it. It's gone. See that? This dark line right here is the border. So this is going to be a messy painting, but that's what you get when you get a contact paper from Lowe's. Kind of cleaning up my mountains here real quick. It's gonna be real hard not to use white for the tide, but we got this. Sound like a challenge. So how are we gonna do this, Nick? Well, that's a good question because I have no freaking clue. Let me move this. My like bright red is kind of melting all over my palette. Crimson? Let me see how this is gonna look. I don't know. This is gonna be interesting. Fucking YouTube, I swear to God. Commercials. No one fucking cares. It's always Febreze. Alright. Okay. Of course I get a bristle. First sweep I get is a bristle. Again, this is a hell of a challenge because normally with an ocean you got all sorts of colors going on and ways to make it work. This is just two colors with no white, which I was not anticipating doing, but like I said, I like a good challenge. It's almost like putting a blindfold on and having to do this. Like, you know that's not going to look like a good painting, but it will be interesting. Oh, I was using a knife, but let me just use the... How much time we got? You know what? This will be the part where I take off the contact cable, because we're gonna need to get the knife down there, and there's no way I'm doing a knife with all this crap on here. So it's on there, right? There we go. Pretty cool. And I got paint all over my hand. That was smart. Alright, so let me dab in some of the... It's not going to be pretty, but it certainly doesn't have to be perfect. Let me do, I'm going to do both. I'm going to do some bright red. Just like that. Just like that. Just a hint of red down there. Get my liner brush. Let's put some black on there. Give me some grassies. If your grassies don't go on there, make your paint thinner. Pretty sweet. Came out completely different than I thought it would, but in a good way. Yeah, see, there's that white up here, but I'm not touching it because I don't want to screw up my sky. But that's fine. That works. This wasn't supposed to be perfect. This was just supposed to be an interesting exercise. Okay, so. If I touch that up, I'm going to have to redo my whole sky. That's not happening. So let's get some bright red. I call this one. I have more paint than I thought I would need. That's a shame, but it's okay. I'm going to paint my coffin here. Should I? Nah. Ours are always the more messed up letters that I paint. Alright, guys. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Well, I want to thank you for joining me this season. And until next season, you guys, Blessed be.